Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to make the netted section of this necklace. If you also want to make the little stars that are hanging off of it, you're going to need the Stars and Snowflakes DVD from the Jewelry Maker website. And I've made the stars using the instructions for this star in here, okay? Except I've added some 4mm beads to the points of the star, okay? So the components you're going to need for the necklace section, okay? You're going to need some 6mm bugle beads, some size 11/0 seed beads, some size 15/0 seed beads, some 6-pound fireline thread, and a size 10 beading needle. Okay. You will also need a clasp and a little bit of extension chain to get the length of your necklace however long you want it to be. Okay. So I'm going to start off with threading my needle with my fire line. Use as much thread as you're comfortable working with because you will need to join, and it does take up quite a lot of thread. And then I've put on a stopper bead, and I've left about a 10cm, about a 4-inch tail. You don't need very much, just a little bit to finish off your thread at the end. Okay, obviously I've only got a small piece of thread here for the demo, but use as much as you're comfortable working with. Okay, so we're going to start off by picking up 4 of our size 15 beads. Okay, bring those down to your stopper bead. Okay, and then I'm going to go through the very first one that I picked up in the same direction that I went through it before. So I'm going to create a little circle. Okay, there you go, just jiggle your beads around so that they sit nicely in a circle like that. Okay, now I'm going to pick up a bugle bead, then an 11, then a bugle, then an 11, another bugle, another 11, another bugle, another 11, and then another bugle until I have 5 bugle beads on my thread. Okay, I'll bring those down. Okay, now I'm going to create one of these little picots at the bottom here as well, same as I had on the other side. So pick up 4 of my 15s again. Okay, bring them down. Okay, and then again I'm going to go through the first one I picked up. So my thread is coming at the top. I'm going through the first one in the same direction to create a little circle of beads. Okay, just hold on to them and pull them down to your work. Okay, so that's what I have so far. Okay, so now I'm going to start doing the netting section. So now I'm going to pick up a bugle, an 11, and another bugle. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the second 11/0 going backwards. Okay, so I'm going to skip over this first one and the 2 bugles, and I'm going to go through the second size 11 bead. Okay, like so. Right, then I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to pick up a bugle, an 11, and a bugle. Then I'm going to skip over the first 11 and I'm going to go through the second one. Okay, so you can see the netting starting to happen there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a bugle again. Then I'm going to pick up 4 of my 15s. Okay, bring all of that down to my work. Okay, then again I'm going to go through the very first 15. So same as before, I'm going to create a little circle here. Just jiggle your beads around so they sit nicely in a circle, and then pull them down close to your work. Okay, then I'm going to flip it over because I find it easier to work up in that direction. Then I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to pick up a bugle, an 11, another bugle, and again I'm going to go past this first 11/0 and I'm going to go into the second one. Okay, like so. Right, then again I'm going to pick up a bugle, an 11, and another bugle. Okay, and again skip over the first 11, going to the one after. Okay, now I've come to the end again, so I'm picking up a bugle and my 4 15-0s. So every time I need to do a turn, instead of picking up an 11-0, I'm picking up 4 of my 15s, creating a little picot or a little circle here at the end. Okay, and then just flipping it over, going back in the other direction again. Okay, I'll show you one more. So pick up a bugle, an 11, and a bugle, go through the second 11-0, then pick up a bugle, an 11, and another bugle, skip over the first one, go into the next one. Okay, then we're at the end again, so we're going to do a turn. So pick up a bugle, and then 4 of my size 15s. Okay, bring them down, create a circle, pull them down close. Okay, and then flip it over, and you're going to do the same thing again, up and down, up and down. Now the length that I made for the necklace is, if you see, I have my starter thread or my starter beads here on this end, okay, my stopper bead, and I have my working thread coming out this end, so both of them are at the top. Okay, then you're going to count your little points at the bottom. So here I've got 2, so the length that I made, I carried on until I had 33 of these little points at the bottom here. Okay, I will show you. That is what it looks like. Okay, so I've got 33 points at the bottom here. Okay, now it looks quite long, but that's because it's stretchy at this point. There's nothing holding it together. Okay, but we're going to fix that in just a second. Okay, so I've got my little netted section here with my thread coming out of this last 11-0 from after the last row. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same as before. So I'm going to pick up my bugle bead, and I'm going to pick up my 4 15-0s. Okay, and as before, I'm going to go through that first 15-0 to create my little circle. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to put on a little loop here, which is where I'm going to attach my jump ring and my extension chain. Okay, so I'm going to go through, in this little circle, I'm going to go through the next 15. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up 9 more size 15 beads. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then I'm going to create a little loop. So this 15 that I'm coming out of at the top, I'm going to go in the bottom to create a little loop. Okay, I'm going to go through all of those a second time. Just make sure it's nice and tight so you don't have any thread showing. Go through all of those a second time just to reinforce it. Okay, and also go through that 15-0 that's in the original square of 4 beads. Okay, so now you've gone through your loop twice. Okay, now we want to carry on in this direction, so I'm going to go through the next 15-0 and the one after that. Okay, right, now what we want to do is we want to join up the points at the top of the necklace. Because at the moment it's all quite flexible and stretchy, and we don't want it to be stretchy, we want it to sit nicely. So we want to join up the top. If we were making a bracelet, you would need to join up the top and the bottom to kind of stabilize the length of it. Okay, but in this case we want the top to be kind of tight, and we want the bottom to be able to open out and move to fit nicely around your neckline. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we're going to pick up a 15, an 11, a 15, an 11, and another 15. Okay, so you've got that combination there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 15 at the bottom of my picot. Okay. to lean in quite close. I can't lean in close to here obviously, so it makes it a bit harder to see, but you can go through that bottom 15-0, okay, like so. I could have gone through the top beads as well, but I wanted to keep this effect of having this little picot there, okay. So again, I'm going to pick up a 15 and 11, a 15 and 11, and another 15, okay, and then I'm going to go through the bottom bead in the next picot. Okay, so you can see now this is tightening up here at the top. Okay, so again the same thing, a 15 and 11, a 15 and 11, and another 15 through the bottom bead in your next picot. Okay, you're going to carry on like that until you get all the way to the other end. Okay, I'm just going to finish that and then I'll be back. Okay, so now as you can see, I've done that stitching all the way along. Okay, so my needle is now coming out at this end here. Now also you can see that when you pull it tight, don't put it so tight that it's under tension, just pull it so there's no threads showing anywhere. Okay, and you'll see that the top edge pulls in nice and tight and then the bottom curves quite nicely. Okay, so now my thread is coming out of the bottom 15-0 in this last little square where my stopper bead is. Okay, so now I'm just going to create my next little loop here where I'm going to attach my my jump ring. So what I'm going to do is, my thread is coming out of the bottom 15-0, it needs to be coming out of the end one. So I'm going to go up through that end 15-0. This one here. Okay, and then again, just like on the other side, I'm going to pick up 9 of my 15s. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, then I'm going to go through that again in the same direction to create a loop. Okay, just make sure you keep your stopper bead out of the way so you don't get it caught in there. Okay, and then again I'm going to go through all of those a second time just to reinforce that loop there. So go through all of those 15s that you just added. Okay, including the one here, which is the one that's in the original square of 4 15 beads. 15-0 beads. Okay, so I've gone through that again there. Okay, so now my thread is coming out of the 15-0, which is on the left of this little square. Okay, my stopper bead is coming out of the bottom 15-0. So what I need to do now is I can come around and I can either tie a knot with my tail thread, or I can just go all the way around again, go back into my work. It's going to the top 15-0 and the one that is closest to your necklace. Oh, I've already gone through that one, yes. So go through the bottom one here, and then you can tie a knot. I'm going to tie a knot with my tail thread, just try not to get your thread caught on anything. Take off your stopper bead, don't forget to take off the stopper bead. Okay, and then just tie your thread into, you can do a surgeon's knot just to make sure that it's really nice and tight. So go around twice. Okay, make sure your knot is on top of the first one and it's not caught around anything. Okay, just like that. And then you can just go back through your beads with your thread before you cut it off. Okay, you can go whichever beads you want to go through. So I'm just going to go through this last one here, which is now quite tight because it's got quite a lot of thread going through it. Okay, and then I can go through the beads in my loop. Okay, and then I can just cut off my thread with my thread zapper. Okay, and then I'll do the same with the tail thread, just weave it back in before you cut it off with your thread zapper. Okay, so now you've got your base necklace here. Okay, so you can take your little stars and you can attach them however you like. You can attach them on top of your necklace like that if you wanted to, or you can attach them like I've done with the other necklace. This one here, you can see that I've dangled them underneath like so. Okay, I've got 3 of them, so I've only got 1 here, so I'm just going to put it in the middle of my new necklace. So what I've done for that is I've just worked my thread around so that it's coming out of one of the beads at the point of my little star here. Okay, and then I'm just going to pick up a few of my 15s in this case. In the other necklace I actually used the 11s, but in this case I don't want these beads to be that visible a color, and my 11s are pink, so I don't want to see them that much. So I'm picking up my 15, so I'm just going to pick up sort of 10 or so of my 15s. So that's 8, that's 9, that's 10. In the other necklace, I can show you again. This one, I've picked up 20 of my 11s for the middle one, and then 10 each for the ones on the side. And obviously the middle one is in the middle of my necklace, and then I've skipped 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and then the 5th one I've attached the next star. So if you want to copy that one, then that's how you would need to do it. In this case I've just picked up 10 of my 15 beads. Then I'm going to find the middle of my necklace, so I've got 33 points. So the middle one is number 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the bead at the bottom point, like so. Then I'm going to go back through these 15 O's. Okay, like that. And then this pink bead here, which is at the point of my star, my thread is coming out of the right hand side of that bead. So now I'm going to go into the left hand side of that bead. Okay. Then when you pull it tight, it goes quite up close to your work. Okay, and then again you just work your way with your thread back through your star. Tie a couple of knots or bead back and forth a little bit, however you prefer to finish off your thread. Just finish the thread off, and there's your star attached to your necklace. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.